Good morning.
Or good afternoon.
Or good evening.
Wherever you are in the world.
And welcome along to What is Van Life? Today's Good Friday, so to get away from the madness, we've come to see some kangaroos, and we'll take you along with us.
Right, so we're off for a little walk. We've come away from the madness. We decided that up by the coast there's not many people there, but you get this feeling of like you shouldn't be there, you know what I mean? And yeah, this stay at home or stay in place or whatever is a bit difficult for us. So
because we're in our home anyway, so what do? You know, you've got to if you're caught because you're in your vehicle or whatever, that's your house.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a bit difficult for us because we don't really know where to park. You know, we've not been given any advice. You know, I did ring the council and spoke to 3 different people and asked, what is in place for us, for people that don't have any fixed abode. And basically, I was told, go to a caravan park, of which they've closed most of them. So there's no national parks open. No council parks open.
So this is on the Gold Coast in Australia, and where we are, we've been told there's 2 parks open, and they're open for not holiday makers, but people like ourselves,
essential travellers.
Essential travellers, yeah. But there's no amenities open, and they're charging what we've heard is $40+ a night.
Yeah.
So that's not an option for us.
I mean, we worked it out for 2 weeks. That was $900, 900 Australian dollars. And none of us know how long this is going to go on for. I mean, this could go on for a year. We can't pay that sort of money, and we don't see why anybody should be paying the same money that you would pay if you're going on holiday. We can understand it's that much money when you're on holiday here because there's lots to do, but everything's closed. So anyway, we're going to go for a walk, show you some kangaroos hopefully.
Another walk.
This is our exercise.
Alright, shall we?
I think I'm in a ditch.
Yeah, you know your place. So we've come to a place called Koonibba Reserve. It's the northern end of the Gold Coast again. It's pretty much where we're hanging out at the moment. It's a day use area, and you get a lot of people coming up here for walks, and there's cycle tracks and joggers and that, and hopefully, as you'll see, it's got a lot of kangaroos and a few koalas apparently, but you'll be lucky if you see one.
Yeah. I mean, we had some rain overnight. We got woken up at 4 o'clock this morning with just it hammering because we'd parked under some quite tall trees, and of course it's collected on those trees and then it's like coming down in really great big drops. So we were awake at 4 o'clock this morning, sounding like somebody was hitting the top of the van with a little hammer. Actually, that's kind of what it sounded like.
So Muggins there had to get in the cab and move on a little bit, and I couldn't really see what I was doing, and well, I ended up under another tree.
Yeah.
As I found out when I got back in bed.
Not as bad though.
When it started raining, we just had like a dripping tap all night.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But that's van life, you know what I mean? That's because obviously we didn't know it was going to rain overnight, and you don't think of those things anyway generally, when you're parking up. So
I think we'll go that way because I can see the kangaroos. So although they're wild, they let you get pretty close. This one's going to skit off in a minute. I can just sense it. There's this young fella. I know just how you feel, mate. Can't beat a good scratch.
So we're on the reserve. This is a nice place that we kind of like to come and chill out a bit, because we never get any we never get any hassle. Not that we get much hassle anyway, but here we just feel really relaxed. We've had quite a lot of rain overnight, and these kangaroos have got really wet. They've obviously tried to shelter a bit in the trees at the back there, and they hate getting wet apparently because their coats aren't very sort of water resistant. So yeah, this one, like sitting back here, you can see how wet they are. They've kind of got all these sort of damp patches all over them, but it's warm, it's not sunny, but they will dry out. Yeah.
It's got a joey as well.
Yeah, this one's got a joey in the pouch there. You can see it's got quite a droop underneath it. That joey will be fairly big.
To be honest, we've all got a droop under it. Oh, it's coming out. The head's coming out.
Oh yeah, you can see. Oh my God, he's got his eyes shut.
I'm not going to get close enough to get it, I don't think.
That is a little one actually. Oh. Come up here because it's Good Friday today, so obviously most of the things are shut anyway, but the things that weren't shut are now shut anyway because it's the Good Friday of the Easter.
Also the weather's helping because it's a bit damp, so
yeah,
a lot of people are going to stay at home.
Yeah,
because all the beaches are closed and all the parking areas down the coast are closed, so it's a waste of time going down there. So yeah, I bet the authorities are pleased that it's raining.
Yeah, I think it's definitely helped. I mean, we did see there was quite a lot of people still queuing up at the trawlers for their prawns, which is what they do, every year here. It's like the national thing. But we were surprised to still see people doing that, bearing in mind that you can't have any gatherings anyway. So to me, I thought that was a little bit suspicious. I think, people are still sometimes carrying on regardless. This is what we've done every year, so we're going to keep doing that. But, obviously we're not doing any of that. We are just us two. We've self-quarantined for the last 4 weeks really now, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 weeks.
But yeah, it's just that eerie feeling, you're not knowing what's going to happen next, I suppose, really. And for us, we don't really know what we're doing from one day to the next, to be honest, because it keeps changing, doesn't it?
I think this last week's been the hardest because up to that point we could go to the beach and just sit there on our own. And keep ourselves to ourselves, but now all that's closed to us and the parks are closing and car parks are closing, and so we're finding it harder and harder for places to go. So at least this one place is open and we can come up here every day and just chill out. I suppose this place might be next, I don't know.
The opportunities are definitely narrowing, but we have noticed that there's more and more RVs and camper vans, and like vans like cars in general, there's more of them because people are getting squeezed into these situations that they wouldn't normally be in. Normally most people would be on national parks or council campgrounds and stuff like that, but because they're closing it all, but they're not giving any other alternative for people that are in our situation. So we're kind of just waiting to see what happens, aren't we?
Yeah, just spend a day here, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think, with all these eucalyptus trees behind us, we'd see one kangaroo?
Just get going.
Actually, there is kangaroos.
but not up the eucalyptus tree.
If we find a kangaroo in a eucalyptus tree, you'll be the first to know.
So this is like a glade, isn't it, of eucalyptus? So.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be about. Right, let me start again.
You can leave it in.
I've got stuff on my leg. Anyway, so you think with all these eucalyptus trees, we'd see one koala.
It's the same letter, but.
That's it, I'm off.
One thing that we found when we moved to Australia was we described it as everything's on steroids because everything's really big, or it's very tiny and it can kill you anyway. You know, all the insects are really big. You know, wasps are like 4 times bigger than everywhere else, and all that kind of thing. But that goes for the foliage too. Look at the size of this leaf.
This is a clover leaf.
Look at the size of it. that's big, isn't it?
You should take some back and use it as toilet paper.
That could be your toilet paper alternative. Also, that would last you a while, wouldn't it? It's those little things that you find the difference when you move to a different country. You know, you do notice these things. In England, everything's very small, and the birds are very small, and they're twittery, and they just sing lovely tunes and stuff. Here, everything's like, get out of my way, almost. As you can hear. Oh, that's fine. So listen to all the wildlife. There's just so many birds.
So peaceful, it's lovely.
We've seen a few people walking, haven't we? And a couple of joggers and some people on a bike and that, but not many people up here really. But I think the wildlife's loving it. I don't think I've ever heard it this noisy in here before. They just sort of seem to be reclaiming it, if you like, the lack of people.
Beautiful.
It's all got to be good for something.
Mm-hmm. Well, we just got back to the van, and I found out I've been wasting my time the whole time. I've actually got a koala in here. Would you believe it? Here he is. Look. And guess what? He loves Australia. Anyway, we're going to make some lunch.
So this is the end of our vlog. We do hope that it finds you well. We just want to say to everybody, keep safe, and we will get through all of this together, particularly to our family in the UK. We just want to send our love. So
missing you guys.
This is the end of our vlog. So for now, this is goodbye from What Is Van Life.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
See ya.